Hey everyone, Jonathan Wood here from Wintellect. If you've seen the last post on visualizing sales data with Matplotlib, then you know how great the visualizations are at gaining more insights into our data. I'm going to be showing you those same insights, but with Microsoft Power BI, and you'll notice just how fast I'm able to get insights with it. Here I am at the Power BI homepage. While we'll show using Power BI to gain quick insights into our data, it can also be used to create dashboards and reports so you can share across your team or organization. If you want to play around with it, go to powerbi.microsoft.com and go to Products and Power BI Desktop, and then click on the Download Free button. Now I have Power BI Desktop loaded, and the first thing I want to do is to click on the Get Data button. And I want to pause here and just show how many data sources Power BI supports. You have the usual text files with CSV and XML files, several types of databases, and even some service-specific data such as Google Analytics or MailChimp. We already know our data is a CSV, so we'll select that and we'll open our file. Before it loads into Power BI, we want to verify how it should read in the data. It automatically detected that the delimiter is a comma, and by looking at the first 200 rows, it was able to detect the data types of our columns. And then we can verify everything looks as it should in the preview table. And once everything looks good, we'll click the Load button. Alright, so now that our data has been loaded, we can start the fun part and get to analyzing. Over on the right side, we can see our column names, and we'll be using these to generate our visualizations. The first question we have from the blog post is what rep had sold the most units, so we'll check the rep and then units. It starts by showing the data in a table, but to make it into a graph, we'll go into the visualization section and click on the graph that we want to visualize, in this case a bar graph. Let's make it a little bit bigger so we can read it, and we can quickly tell that Richard has sold the most units. So that was total units by rep, but what about total price? In our other blog posts, we use pandas to create a new column for us. We can do the same thing here in Power BI. Up at the top, we can click on New Column, and let's call it Total Price as we have done before. And using square brackets to specify what column we want to use, and we can multiply units and unit price. Over on the right side, it created the new column for us. So now let's use it and select Rep and then Total Price. Once again, we can pick the bar graph visualization and make this a little bit bigger. And in Matplotlib post, we told pandas to sort by total price. But how can we do that here in Power BI? Hover over the graph and click on three dots to bring up some options for the graph, then click on Sort by Total Price. Now that looks much better. And we can quickly see that Matthew had sold the most in terms of total price. Now let's look at what item has sold the most. But before we do that though, I like to get some more real estate for the graph. So I'm going to click to add a new page at the bottom. And we'll click on an item and total price. Make this into a bar graph and make the graph grow a bit. Now we can easily tell that Binders has sold a lot more than the other items. Now I'm curious to what region has sold the most. So we'll click on region and then total price. And let's move this, make it a bar graph, and make it a bit bigger. Now it's clear to see that the central region sells more than the east and west combined. And in just a few minutes we were able to gain some insights into our data. We'll have more Power BI resources for you, but in the meantime, keep asking questions and have fun analyzing.